Rewards. There we go. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Staking Mondays, brought to you by Staking Rewards. The Staking Mondays series is designed to share specific knowledge from the staking industry leaders within our community. Learn more about passive income opportunities that exist and how these ecosystems interact with one another to achieve greater mass adoption. Now you can head over to stakingrewards.com and learn more about our website, where we are the leading data provider for all staking and crypto growth tools. We're currently tracking over 218 yield-bearing assets with an average reward rate of 14.95% and over 11,000 qualified providers. Quite exciting stuff, guys. Make sure to head over to stakingrewards.com. I'm Ken Garofalo, the listing manager here at Staking Rewards, and today we have a wonderful guest with us today, joining all the way from Seoul, South Korea. Welcome, Do Kwon, founder and CEO of Terraform Labs. How are you doing, Do?
Hey, Ken. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. And it is really special to have you on. Of course, we're going to talk a little bit about Terra money, the programmable money for the internet, Mirror finance, assets reflected on the blockchain, Anchor protocol that allows Terra stablecoin deposits to earn a stable yield, and of course, these Terra stablecoins that offer instant settlement, low fees, and seamless cross-border exchange. So, Do you want to just give us a brief intro quickly to what Terra money is, what Terraform Labs is, and any current ecosystem updates that you have for us?
Sure. So, Terra builds a set of decentralized stablecoins that, and it also has an ecosystem of rich applications around it that make money easier to spend and more attractive to hold. So to that end, we have applications such as Mirror Protocol, which allows users to easily buy into any asset class in the world through synthetic stocks, commodities, and ETFs. Anchor Protocol, which gives you a stable risk-free yield on the stable coins that you deposit, and in the background gets propagated through lending markets. And then we also have a number of different projects that work anywhere between dynamic ETFs and Nebula Protocol, decentralized insurance through Ozone, and principal-free giving through Pylon Protocol. So we do lots of things that make life easier with decentralized stablecoins.
Very cool. And yeah, everyone watching, you guys can head over to terra.money to learn more about what Terra has going on. And so we're going to break into some questions here. I will note there's going to be an audience question to finish us off, and the audience question is going to be awarded 50 hearts. It's our loyalty token on Staking Rewards. So pay attention, guys. When we tweet out asking for audience questions before we go into these Staking Monday episodes, you're going to have a chance to win hearts tokens for asking a quality question. Also to note, we are now on Spotify as well. So if you guys listen to podcasts, feel free to check Staking Rewards out on Spotify. So Do, let's get right into it now. So we're really going to focus these questions around mass adoption, since Terra itself seems to be focused around mass adoption as well. So what needs to happen, in your opinion, to get 1 billion plus people into crypto?
Yeah, so I think crypto can borrow the ideas of how a lot of developing countries first stand up their currencies. In the beginning, when new economies are being stood up, there's a lot of, shall we say, dollarization going on. So before like an independent currency has, the legs to stand on its own, people generally tend to use foreign currencies like the US dollar or the euro more widely in those countries than local fiat. But in the beginning, when inflation rate is high, FX volatility is high, generally there's one application that gets used widely in the country to almost universal access. And if you think about bringing 1 billion people into crypto, right, there's just a very few financial applications that gets used by that many. It's just the one thing, it's the commercial banking account, right? There aren't 1 billion people that are trading equities. There aren't 1 billion people in ETFs. There aren't 1 billion people using asset managers. There's just the one thing, and it's the savings account. So the reason why this is important is because, of course, like one component of yield that is that it needs to be high, it needs to be attractive. But most people that use financial applications don't have the correct tools or the understanding nor the time to be able to assess risk, to learn, the bespoke rules of how to engage in a yield farm or different things like that. And they definitely don't have the peace of mind to be able to rebalance their positions. But I think the one thing that really matters is, can you create sort of a deposit account, a savings protocol, if you will, on top of blockchains that offers more attractive and more stable yields than what you could find in commercial banks? And can you abstract away all the difficulties of what it takes to participate in a yield farm in DeFi? So if you combine both of those components together, like number one, attractive high yield, that is number two, super easy to use, I think that's going to be the killer use case for crypto that's going to draw billions of people into using, crypto banks rather than, things like Wells Fargo.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great point. And I think the shirt you're wearing kind of preludes into an application that might try to, bring on the first billion people into crypto. So very exciting there. Great answer. So in regards to CBDCs, do you think there's going to be a showdown between privatized CBDCs and public blockchains with their native assets to win this final battle for the mainstream adoption?
Yeah, so I mean, I think to some extent there's going to be a lot of positive changes that's going to come about when CBDCs start to roll out, and I think the main component of this is going to be programmability. So a lot of paper ledger-based systems, most fiat is based on paper ledgers. It's very difficult to build on or use. So for example, like if you wanted to build something based on dollar rails, ultimately you need to build something based on legacy providers and systems that don't play very nicely with things that are meant to be open APIs or programmable APIs, which means that there's a lot of rent extraction whenever you're trying to build something based on top of legacy payment systems, which makes it expensive, slow, and innovation resistant. I think once CBDCs roll out, one of the most exciting components of this is that it's going to become a lot easier to build on. So based on like a fiat US dollar, it'll be much easier to build the next strike, for instance, than what it used to look like in, I don't know, like 2010, right? But I think what CBDCs won't do is I don't think it's going to start to scale down the rules that that sort of governs fiat currencies. It's going to have the same KYC AML regulations. It's going to have the same, shall we say, brute force printing. It's going to have the same monetary policies. And once you have those things, it's really hard to build decentralized applications based on centralized monies. And sort of one of the core components, core theses that we have at Terra is that decentralized applications deserve decentralized monies. Because if it's built on centralized monies, essentially every single DeFi application is going to be held hostage to whoever has regulatory authority over the centralized issuers.
Yeah, that's great perspective there. So you really think that there's going to be still a separation between the programmable decentralized money that exists within these DApps and then this centrally controlled CBDC. So yeah, really interesting to see what happens in the next few years there. I'm sure more countries are going to start issuing CBDCs, and we'll see how it competes with a decentralized currency. In regards to user behavior, do you think the user themselves needs to adapt, or do we just need to build the right UX to reach this mainstream adoption?
Yeah, so basically, I think a lot of centralized applications, it's not going to be too much difference whether you use CBDCs or a decentralized currency like Terra. I think it's going to be pretty much the same thing. What I maintain, though, is that there's going to be a bunch of decentralized applications that simply can't exist on centralized currencies. So I think once you have these things, so for example, for something like Anchor, I contend that it's very hard to build this on top of CBDCs, because if you had an independent monetary policy that is separate from the federal funds rate, that's something that sort of central banks will find it very hard to tolerate based on centralized currencies. Because if Anchor is offering 20% yield on a CBDC and the Federal Reserve has no control over the Anchor rate, then in that case, it basically puts to shame commercial banking rates, and it means that central banks essentially lose control over their one prized possession, which is the ability to print money by sort of gauging the monetary levers based on their political wins. So I think for applications that require sovereignty in the hands of a decentralized community, I think it absolutely needs to be built on decentralized monies and not the Fed coin, if you will.
Not the Fed coin, yeah. And you mentioned earlier just people chasing the arbitraging staking yields or yield, right? So if the Fed offered a certain interest rate and Anchor was offering a 20% rate, that's where all your deposits would flow to logically, right? So I could see it competing there and definitely being an issue with the centralized bodies controlling those currencies. But in regards to this mainstream adoption topic, do you think it is required? I know you mentioned you started off the chat, laying down some stats that not even 1 billion people trade equities, right? So is mainstream adoption required for crypto to be successful?
I don't think so. I mean, so right now, it's as if, like there's, billions and billions of dollars that are flowing through cryptocurrencies and DeFi. But if you adjust for the number of users, there's probably less than 1 million people that use DeFi today. And for most people that are actually interacting with cryptocurrency, most of it is for price speculation, right? But even with this, you have created like a huge liquidity and a huge market and a huge developer base to make this an attractive tool for asset management, right? But I think there's varying degrees of success, right? So right now, crypto it has proven itself to be a very interesting macro asset. And it has proven itself capable of building out a lot of different applications for asset management. But I feel like, like a greater degree of success here is going to be something that solves pain points for retail finance. And I think we have a really good shot of getting there.
Yeah, and the more pain points that can be solved, the more useful it becomes, the more users get onboarded. And I just want to say a big thank you to all the lunatics joining us here and making comments in the chat. They seem to really love your shirt though. So hello guys and girls, and make some comments in the chat. We'll be sure to read those later. For the next question here, what ways can people earn passive income and staking rewards in the Terra ecosystem, since there is a lot of different moving pieces here, a lot of different components, a lot of applications? If you could just break down all the different ways you suggest people to earn yield within the ecosystem.
Sure. So the simplest way to do this is you can use Anchor Protocol. So it exists in its own app at anchorprotocol.com. It's also embedded into a lot of applications like what's that sale platform in the US where they sell coins? CoinList? Yeah.
CoinList,
so it's like available on places like CoinList and a few other places. But the value proposition is really simple. So if you keep Terra USD stablecoins through Anchor, it's going to give you around 20% yield annually. It also allows you to earn yield on things like USDT, DAI, and USDC through an Ethereum side integration through Orion.money. So basically, across multiple different blockchains using your favorite stablecoins, you can earn a stable yield. A second way of earning yield in the Terra system is through using Mirror Protocol. So if you provide liquidity for some of the most popular equities and ETFs and commodities, you can earn anywhere between 30 to 70% yield on providing this. And the main benefit is that unlike most other liquidity pools in crypto, if you provide LP on mirrored assets, the price fluctuation is going to be much lower because these are very large cap assets like Apple or Tesla. So you don't really have situations where impermanent loss gets out of hand. So it's once again a stable-ish yield on something that is relatively low risk. You can also compose Anchor and Mirror together, so you can provide AUST, which is a proof of deposit in the Anchor system, as a collateral in Mirror to be earning a 20% on your stablecoins, while at the same time on top of that earning a 30 to 70% yield on your mirrored assets. So that's really good. There's about dozens of different protocols that are being built on top of Terra. So like an easy way of participating in this is to stake Luna on the Terra blockchain, in which case you get weekly airdrops of MIR tokens, ANC, and Pylon, and so on and so forth. So there's a interesting ecosystem map available at terra.smartstake.io, where you can check out sort of the APRs that you're getting from all the different yield opportunities on Terra, as well as the airdrop schedules for each of the individual projects.
Very important link there. Everyone watching, what is that link again, though? Go ahead.
Terra.smartstake.io.
Terra.smartstake.io. Everyone should go over there and check out the different yield opportunities, because there are so many. And to hear you can even earn yield for providing liquidity into mirrored assets representing real world stocks. I mean, that's truly remarkable to hear. For everyone watching as well, you can go over to Staking Rewards. You can check out the Mirror Protocol asset page, the Luna asset page, and the Anchor asset page, as well as the stablecoin asset page for UST as well. So a lot of information on stakingrewards.com for everything that exists within the Terra ecosystem. Now we do have the community question, The winner of this community question is 0xTB Dragon. Congratulations. We have gone ahead and deposited 50 hearts. This is the Staking Rewards loyalty token into your Staking Rewards account. And the question is, what are some new upcoming innovations from Terra coming down the pipeline in the future?
Yeah. So we've recently, started work on something called Prism. So, and of course, like we do have the well-announced protocols like Nebula and Ozone coming up. But what's kind of interesting about Prism is that it's in the domain of interest swaps. So how it works is, in DeFi, generally there aren't that many ways in which you can trade interest. So, which is why you sometimes have yield farms that offer you 20,000% APR. But at the same time, in exchange for giving you ridiculous yield, it forces you to take a ridiculous amount of risk in providing the initial liquidity, right? For example, if you're providing liquidity for the pickle coin, I actually don't know if this is a coin that actually exists. Let's call it the French fry coin. Then in that case, if you provide liquidity, you don't know whether you're going to get rubbed because the smart contract could be hacked. But more importantly, you have to take on incredible amount of amount of risk by providing liquidity to French fry coin. Like the devs could sell all their tokens and other things could happen, right? Which is why there's incredible risk, while at the same time there's really high APR. But if there's a way in which you can split this, whereby you only have to speculate on the principal or you speculate on the yield, then it allows DeFi to become much, much more efficient. So for example, if you provide Luna into the Prism smart contract, it gives you two tokens. So essentially two derivatives. One of them is the P token, which allows you to speculate only on the principal value change of Luna. And the second coin, which is the Y token, which guarantees you physical delivery of all the yield and the airdrops that are coming to the Luna token. So for example, if you only want to speculate on the price changes of Luna, you can use Prism to create P tokens, a Y token, sell the Y token so that you can get additional price exposure to the Luna token, but you forgo all the yield and the airdrops. If you want to speculate on just the yield, there's a way to do that too by doing the opposite. So it allows, it creates tools by which you can get, yields and, principal speculation in DeFi to get much more efficient. And I think we can sort of cross-apply this to lots of different ecosystems as well, not just Terra, so like Ethereum and Binance Smart Chain. And I think that's going to have massive opportunity.
Yeah, and that's why I always love hearing you talk, though, because you always come out with these innovative ways to extract yield from principal speculation. This kind of effort that you're making with Prism is definitely innovative for the industry, and it could inspire others to do the same. But really, it's providing a lot new opportunity for the users to earn yield and reduce risk, and that's something we do greatly appreciate here at Staking Rewards. So again, you guys can find more information about Terra and Do at terra.money. The Twitter is at terra_money. And Do, your personal Twitter is at DOHOK1. And of course, you guys can find more information at Staking Rewards, www.stakingrewards.com. You can find us basically on every social media at Staking Rewards. And again, this has been an episode of Staking Mondays brought to you by Staking Rewards, where we highlight and share specific knowledge from the staking industry from leaders within our community. Again, you can find us on Spotify. Just search Staking Rewards and you'll find all of our Staking Monday episodes. And Do you have any final closing remarks here for us?
Let's see. Let's just do one question from the chat.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, hey, Do, where can I get one of those shirts? You can get it at lunaloot.com. I actually bought like 20 of these things. So I have like an Anchor shirt, a Mirror shirt, like Terra shirts, and they're pretty awesome and entirely from the community. So please help them out with your business, and we'll be having another AMA this month. So I'll see all of you there.
Awesome. Pay attention, guys. Stay tuned for that AMA coming up, and lunaloot.com. Go get your swag. Thanks so much, Do. Thank you for joining. Until next time, take care.
Bye-bye.